This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 26th day of February in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Opposition leader Joe Harmon and a team from the APNU AFC met this afternoon with Acting Police Commissioner Nigel Hoppy and senior officers of the Guyana Police Force on a number of issues of concern. During the hour-long meeting, Mr. Harmon said he made known to the top cop that the force's posture in dealing with certain matters is not one that instills full confidence in the entire population.
As I said to them also, that we believe that the police force has to engender confidence in the population, and that to the extent to which the perception is that some part of the police force have been weaponized to act against the best interests of us in the opposition and generally to some of our constituents, that we believe that is something which has to be corrected very, very early.
During the meeting, the opposition leader said he raised the recent issue of members of parliament for the APNU AFC being prevented from entering the compound of the National Assembly while the president was addressing the parliament. He said a promise was made by the commissioner to investigate the claims that have been made.
This is our first meeting with him, and I think he was genuinely concerned about the issues which we raised. He promised to inquire into them. He promised to take certain steps in relation to some of them, and we will give him some time. We'll give him some time to deal with those issues.
Mr. Harmon also raised the issue of the enforcement of the COVID-19 guidelines. The Guyana Police Force has been heavily criticized for its failure to effectively enforce the curfew and other measures related to stemming the spread of COVID-19.
COVID-19 enforcement, because we consider that to be the preeminent issue in our country at this time, because it has to do with life and death. And the fact that many citizens were of the view that the enforcement of these measures by the Guyana Police Force was not consistent with their obligations, we felt it was necessary to make that point up front, that COVID-19 enforcement measures have to be better. Too many citizens are losing their lives. Very soon we will get to about 200. We're at 190 something right now. And if we continue to do that, it is the resources of our country, that human resource of our country, that is diminished on a daily basis.
And on the matter of the appointment of a substantive police commissioner, Mr. Harmon believes that he should be consulted before any such appointment is made. The post will become vacant in May when Police Commissioner Leslie James officially heads into retirement. Commissioner James has been on accumulated leave and pre-retirement leave for more than 6 months. More news coming up in just a moment.
GTT is celebrating our 30th year of proudly serving Guyana. You're invited to join the celebration with 30% off your internet for 3 months when you sign up for Blaze high-speed internet powered by Plume Home Pass. Promotion runs from January 29th to February 28th. Take advantage of this offer today using promotional code BLAZE330. Visit gtt.gy Blaze Discount 17 for full details. GTT and you, together we rise.
Farfan and Mendez Group of Companies are committed to promoting development through quality service and integrity. We offer our customers genuine products, reliability, and excellence in service. Our corporate head office at Providence affords you the added convenience of a spacious showroom with secured parking. At Farfan and Mendez, we continue to offer our customers a wide range of genuine and affordable German-engineered equipment. We also offer clean, green alternative energy solutions with our industry-leading brands of solar equipment. So, visit our new showroom at Providence and enjoy the service of our efficient and courteous staff. Farfan and Mendez, offering you solutions you can depend on.
Trifina, how you could get yarning on today's pension day?
I collect my pension and went to the market since the 23rd.
How you mean?
I tell you, Levy switched to lodgement. Since me last book finished, I switched.
You join up a lodge, was this lodgement?
The NIS lodgement system allows pensioners to get their pension into their bank account. The money is paid into the account by the 23rd of the month, so you could withdraw it whenever you like.
So wait, I ain't got to join no long line. Why you ain't tell me before?
Told you, Cleo. When you go to submit your life certificate, Ask them for the allotment application form. When you complete it and the bank verify it, then NIS is going to process it. After they process it, your money will be in your account.
Well, all right, I going there now.
And don't forget, when you're carrying your life certificate, ask them for the lodgement application form.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
This is Annie Bina. She's a clothing designer. She also likes to hang out with her friends. However, a life-changing event is about to occur. The mosquito that bit Annie Bina is infected with a tiny worm that causes lymphatic filariasis, also known as Filaria. But what is Filaria? Filaria is a disease that affects a person's lymphatic system, causing legs, arms, breasts, or scrotum to swell and eventually remain in a swollen state that cannot go back to normal. Filaria shows no symptoms during the early years. Untreatable chronic symptoms can appear as late as 20 years after infection. Since there are no symptoms in the beginning, most infected persons do not know they're infected, like Annie Bina. When the symptoms begin to appear, nothing will be able to make them disappear. Are you sure that you've not been infected like Annie Bina? What can you do then since you see no symptoms? Take your pills. Prevention is the best cure. A message from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome back. Housing Minister Colin Crowell has announced that his ministry intends to deliver 10,000 house lots and 7,000 land titles this year. The minister made the disclosure during his contribution to the budget debates today. According to the housing minister, the ministry is on target to meet the distribution of 50,000 house lots promise that was made during the election campaign.
This year, Mr. Speaker, 2021 alone, we intend to allocate 10,000 house lots, 7,000, a minimum of 7,000 land titles to citizens many of whom have been waiting for years to own their own homes. Let the House be reminded that in just 4 months in office, 3,600 house lots and 413 titles were handed over to citizens. This year, we will also build 1,000 homes for young and for low-income earners, and residents of Region 10 will also benefit from the construction of over 1,000 homes through a public-private partnership.
Minister Kroll said the government has already distributed more than 3,500 house lots and 413 titles in 4 months, and he believes that is testimony to the government's commitment to provide housing for the Guyanese people.
Our 2021 National Housing Development Program, Mr. Speaker, will include the construction of 1,000 low-income and young professional housing units in Region Number 4 in Cummins Lodge, Prospect, Providence, Little Diamond, and Great Diamond. In Region Number 3, on the Neeming and Wales. In Region Number 6, Ordnance, Fortlands, Hampshire, and Williamsburg. And Region Number 10, Amelia's Ward. In addition, Mr. Speaker, we will distribute and we will have the home improvement subsidies as well as build core homes in Parfait, Harmony, and Sophia.
Additionally, the minister chided the former government for its flagship condominium homes project. He said the project, while not a bad initiative, could result in citizens who invested in the units having to fend for themselves, since the Condominium Act currently does not cater for those units to be insured and receive bank loans for expansion.
By mid-year, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Legal Affairs will be bringing legislation to amend the Condominium Act to allow banks to accept titles for those houses, insurance companies to issue policies to those homeowners, and more importantly, to allow these homeowners to access loans for expansion.
Kroll said the government will also be putting the relevant infrastructure in areas where housing developments are taking place. Despite the removal of the value-added tax on a number of construction materials since the last budget, Opposition Member of Parliament and former Minister of Public Infrastructure David Petition wants to know who is really benefiting since the prices for the same VAT-free material have increased.
The removal of VAT on local construction materials. Sir, they remove VAT on local construction materials, but what the reality is, sir, not a single price has dropped. Not a single price has dropped in the 4th of October 2020 to now, sir. Stone prices remain the same. Sand prices remain the same. Cement, blocks remain the same. Plywood, sir, I heard the honorable member come in and saying sort of plywood, sir. All those prices remain the same. Sir, timber prices have actually even gone up.
Mr. Patterson said despite the government boasting of removing VAT from some of the items, it is clear that home builders are not reaping any benefits, and the administration does not appear to care too much about that.
Overall, sir, from October the 4th, 2020 to now, construction material costs have risen 4%. We have been tracking it. So, sir, the question is, sir, who is getting the gains of the VAT relief that they have done, sir? And just as our honorable member Charita Fernandez was saying, sir, when you remove the smoke screen, sir, when you remove the mirrors, what is there in this budget for the ordinary man?
Patterson also said there are many measures in the budget that sounds good on paper, but the ordinary citizens are made to suffer despite the lofty announcements and promises. The government removed VAT on locally produced building and construction materials with effect from October 1 of last year. It has again announced the removal of VAT on other building materials this year. The former Minister of Public Infrastructure also told the National Assembly that many of the infrastructure works that are being promoted by the current government were left in place by the APNU-AFC administration. And despite criticism, the PP civic government is embracing the same projects. Nurses at the Linden Hospital are angry over a recent statement by the hospital's chief executive officer, Rudy Small, that many of them would sign in for a duty then desert their job to go sleep with their sweet man. and have extramarital affairs at night. Some infuriated nurses are refusing to accept the apology made by the CEO, who they said has proven his disrespect to them and their profession. During an interview with a regional media outlet in Linden about plans by the hospital's management to put an electronic timing system in place, the CEO was quoted as saying that there are some nurses who are accustomed to reporting for duty at night, sign in, then get away and go sleep with their sweet man, and would come back in and sign out in the morning. While the CEO did not state whether any action was taken against any member of staff for abandoning their post, he claimed that he knows that the issue was a major one. In offering his apology to the nurses during a meeting, the CEO said he was sorry if the words he uttered created hurt. Some nurses have taken to social media to complain about a statement made by the chief executive officer. The Guyana Public Service Union today joined the calls for the CEO to do more than just apologize.
Of the view that the action to be taken must be more serious than an apology. In a health institution, the workers ought to have a team approach in what they do, and they ought to have confidence in each other. Because the lack of confidence or mistakes could result in the loss of life, and especially now in this crisis situation. The nurses has expressed clearly that they have lost confidence in him. He's being loose and irresponsible, and castigating them as people who conduct immoral behavior.
The Regional Democratic Council in Region 10 is demanding the removal of the CEO over the statement. They say his apology will not be accepted. As part of its planned donation of 500,000 doses of the World Health Organization approved AstraZeneca vaccine to CARICOM nations, India is set to send 80,000 doses of the vaccine to Guyana next week. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony made a disclosure today during the COVID-19 update.
The government of India has been generous enough to allocate vaccines to the Caribbean in general. I think they have allocated about 500,000 doses to the Caribbean. And in that allocation, Guyana is going to get 80,000 doses. And those doses we are expecting would come into Guyana sometime next week. We are now working on the exact date and time when those vaccines are going to arrive, but we're getting a donation from the government of India of 80,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Barbados and Dominica were the first two CARICOM states to receive the vaccines from India. Barbados shared some of its vaccines with Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago to cover the vaccination of frontline health workers. The health minister also indicated today that Guyana is still to receive vaccines under the UN's COVAX initiative to cover up to 20% of the population. Additionally, the government is in direct talks with other countries to make vaccine purchases. During its intersessional meeting, which concluded yesterday, CARICOM expressed its disappointment with the move by many developed nations to buy up and hoard the vaccines, leaving smaller states out in the cold. The U.S. has also chided some developed countries over their large vaccine purchases. Well, the petitioners in the election petition matter that was thrown out by the Chief Justice have moved to the Court of Appeal, seeking a reversal of that decision by the Chief Justice. Last month, Chief Justice Roxanne George dismissed Petition 99, which challenged the final election results declared by the Guyana Elections Commission on the 2nd of August, on the grounds of non-compliance of service on the second named respondent, former President David Granger. The petitioners, Monica Thomas and Brennan Nurse, had argued that Mr. Granger was not a proper and necessary party to the petition, and therefore his late service was of little consequence to the matter. However, in her ruling, the Chief Justice pointed out that Section 8 of the National Assembly Validity of Elections Act states that within the prescribed time, not exceeding 5 days after the presentation of an election petition, the petitioner shall in their prescribed manner serve on the respondent and notice of the presentation of the petition. The petitioners are now asking the Court of Appeal to overturn the Chief Justice's ruling. Among other things, the petitioners want the Court of Appeal to declare that the Chief Justice erred in law and was misdirected when she followed in the decision in the UC Guyana et al. Versus the Chief Elections Officer 1986 case, which the petitioners believe is not a proper case for the Chief Justice to use to make her ruling. The lawyers for the petitioners also want the court to award costs. The petitioners are also contending that the Chief Justice also breached her own orders from the Case Management Conference, where parties were asked to explain errors that were found in the original affidavits. The two petitioners want the Court of Appeal to send the matter back to the High Court, where the petition should be heard and determined. The Chief Justice has allowed the other petition, number 88, to proceed. That petition is challenging the validity of Order number 60, which paved the way for a national recount of ballots. The coalition has long contended that it is only Parliament and not GCOM that has the power to make or amend laws.
This is Annie Bina. She's a clothing designer. She also likes to hang out with her friends. However, a life-changing event is about to occur. The mosquito that bit Annie Bina is infected with a tiny worm that causes lymphatic filariasis, also known as filaria. But what is filaria? Filaria is a disease that affects a person's lymphatic system, causing legs, arms, breasts, or scrotum to swell and eventually remain in a swollen state that cannot go back to normal. Filaria shows no symptoms during the early years. Untreatable chronic symptoms can appear as late as 20 years after infection. Since there are no symptoms in the beginning, most infected persons do not know they're infected, like Annie Bina. When the symptoms begin to appear, nothing will be able to make them disappear. Are you sure that you've not been infected like Annie Bina? What can you do then, since you see no symptoms? Take your pills. Prevention is the best cure. A message from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO.
Due to the impacts of the global pandemic, COVID-19, across our nation, essential organizations like us have chosen to adopt innovative approaches to meet the emerging needs of our customers while protecting our employees. Here are some quick tips to make managing your GPL bill easier while we practice social distancing. To register for electronic billing, you can use the e-billing tab on your website. To access your bill balance, you can use 4 options: the website live chat at gpl.net, the online inquiry on our website under billing, SMS freedom by texting your GPL reference number to 624-0400 or 608-8400, or call our call center at 226-2600. A message from the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Across the region right now, the Caribbean Community CARICOM will be adopting a unified approach to some of the common problems plaguing the region, including the fight against COVID-19, food security, and rescuing the tourism sector. Prime Minister Mia Mottley gave a snapshot of some of the key issues raised on Thursday during the virtual intersessional summit of the heads of government of the region that was chaired by the Prime Minister of Trinidad, Dr. Keith Rowley. The issue of accessing COVID-19 vaccines from international manufacturers is one problem that the region is hoping to address. In spite of the COVAX facility, because of the size of the countries and the relatively small doses required, the region is not seen as a priority. Motley said the process was difficult and likened it to the Wild Wild West. Important decisions were also made with respect to food security in light of the disruption to production and supply as the COVID-19 pandemic rages on. Jamaica is set to receive a donation of COVID-19 vaccines from India next week. The announcement was made today by the Indian High Commissioner to Jamaica. He did not give the exact date of the arrival and did not disclose the amount Jamaica will get. The Health and Wellness Ministry had previously stated that it expects to receive 50,000 doses of the vaccines from India. The Indian High Commissioner noted that India has committed to providing 500,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines to CARICOM countries, and that Jamaica's share is ready to be shipped. And finally tonight, international news. Gunmen abducted 317 girls from a boarding school in northern Nigeria today, the latest in a series of mass kidnappings of students in the West African nation. Police and the military have begun joint operations to rescue the girls after the attack at a girls' science secondary school in GBTI. One parent told the Associated Press that his daughters, ages 10 and 13, are among the missing. One other resident said the gunmen also attacked a nearby military camp and checkpoint, preventing soldiers from interfering while the gunmen spent several hours at the school. It was not immediately clear if there were any casualties. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.